Hello, Miss Leah. Thank you for coming into our clinic today. I'm Dr. Hayes. I see you've brought a guest with you. Why don't you tell me what you're experiencing today?
Hi, I'm Leah's sister. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Dr. Hayes. A few days ago, Leah experienced a stroke and ended up in the hospital. After she got out of the hospital, she started struggling to get words out. It was like she knew what she wanted to say, but she couldn't say them. At the time she is able to talk, she has a lot of grammatical errors. She can't pronounce things right, and she really struggles to write things down. I don't know what is happening, and she has not been able to function normally since before the stroke. Do you know what is happening?
From what I've observed and what you've told me, I would say Leah has a diagnosis of Broca's aphasia. However, we're going to need to do an MRI to be sure.
I will make sure to schedule an MRI right away for her. What is Broca's aphasia? I've never heard of it before.
If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen real quick to show you some photos so that you can see what we're talking about. Broca's area is a part of your brain located in your frontal lobe. It is important for planning, sequencing, and coordinating muscle movement for speech. If this area or areas near it are damaged, then muscles needed for speech won't function properly. Leah's stroke seems to have caused damage to Broca's area. Leah is able to understand what is being said though. She has normal receptive language, it's her expressive language that's impaired. It is also evident that some of Leah's cranial nerves were impacted by the stroke as well. Her facial nerve, which is important for moving all the muscles in her face, is impaired. This is evident by the lack of muscle coordination and the production of sounds in her slurred speech. I suspect that her hypoglossal cranial nerve, which is her tongue movement, is also another reason for her slurring and just making her speech difficult to understand overall.
Is there treatment Leah can get to make it better?
We can accelerate Leah's progress by implementing some techniques that will make speaking easier. By controlling the noise level in the room that she is in, we can help to eliminate unnecessary distractions. It would also be beneficial to practice a few common phrases in front of a mirror that would help her to gain confidence. Also, that would help to practice her muscle movement. These are just a few simple things that can be done at home on her own time. But she will need to start going to speech therapy. While each person with aphasia is unique, research has demonstrated improvement in language functioning following intensive therapy, regardless of severity, type of aphasia, education, age, or stage of recovery. Speech therapy can restore as much of your speech and language as possible, help you communicate to the best of your ability, and find alternative ways of communicating if needed. The goal behind therapy will be to create new pathways of speech in Leah's brain. Much like if you were going on a road trip and the interstate, which is the fastest way to getting there, is blocked off. You would have to use back roads instead. The same must be applied to the way Leah moves her articulators. Results might take time, but improvements can continue to be seen many years or even decades later.
That is really helpful to know. I will make sure to contact a speech therapist as soon as possible. Thank you so much for all your help, Dr. Hayes.
Of course, please come back again, Leah, if you are experiencing additional issues. We look forward to seeing your progress.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Good afternoon, Dr. Hayes. I just wanted to let you know that the MRI results came back, and I was told there is damage to the Broca's area, facial nerve, and hypoglossal nerve. I appreciate all of your help, and I have found a great speech therapist to help Leah. This entire experience has been so hard on me. Leah and I lived together, and she was so independent and worked every single day before the stroke. She is so intelligent, and she is such a hard worker. I was so confused and shocked how different she became after the stroke. I was shocked when I saw how much she ended up struggling to talk and write after it. I ended up having to take time off from work to take care of Leah, and now we are both struggling to pay rent. The good news is that Leah is now working with a speech therapist, and she is slowly making progress. When I asked Leah's speech therapist how I can help support her, she suggested that I encourage Leah to join a local support group. She also suggested that I don't try to correct her speech because that can make her more frustrated. She told me that it's really important to make sure there are no distractions going on when she is talking, so I make sure to turn down the TV every time we are having a conversation. I also try to turn down my music. The last thing she suggested me to do is make sure to give her plenty of time to talk.